Thank you very much. Let me start by acknowledging our host and incoming chairperson of COMESA, our authority, His Excellency President Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi. Let me acknowledge Your Excellencies, my brothers and sisters, and fellow heads of state and government, Your Excellency, the Chairperson of the African Union Commission. Let me acknowledge our ministers, senior officials from all our COMESA member states, Your Excellency, Secretary General of COMESA, and indeed your leadership team members, Your Excellencies, members of the diplomatic corps, and I must acknowledge the leaders of business that may be present here with us, ladies and gentlemen, the media, well recognized as well. Distinguished Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to offer my sincere and heartfelt gratitude to the government and the people of Burundi on behalf of all COMESA member states for your warm welcome and hospitality since we arrived in this beautiful city of Bujumbura. I wish to acknowledge Your Excellency President Ndayishimiye, our brother, President of the Republic of Burundi. We are really honored to participate, all of us, to participate in the 23rd COMESA Summit of Heads of State and Government. We appreciate your gesture. We know the challenges that we all face in our countries, but hosting such a summit is some measure of commitment. We appreciate that. Let me also recognize you in your role as Vice Chair of our Bureau, the COMESA Bureau at the moment. You have done an excellent job in that role as well. I must also acknowledge our rapporteur, the President of Egypt, Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, President of the Arab Republic of Egypt, for his invaluable support during our term in the chair of COMESA. The theme of our summit has been already well articulated by President Ndayishimiye, so I'll not take time on that, but it's indeed an appropriate theme. It is my duty at this stage, dear colleagues, excellencies, heads of state and government, to summarize in some measure the achievements that have been scored during our time in the chair of COMESA. I will start with export growth. COMESA's total exports to the world increased from US $100 billion in 2020 to where we are now with completed statistics at to US $219 billion in the year 2023. This is a huge uplift to the level of 210% increment in our collective exports to the rest of the world. I think it's a big achievement. Intra-COMESA exports, which are also extremely important to us. As a group, we must do business with each other. It is inevitable, it's imperative that we do business with each other. And our intra-COMESA exports grew by 40% from $10 billion in 2020 to where we are now, $14 billion. That's a sizable increment. We can do more. We need to do more. As COMESA, we should endeavor to do more business with each other. It's very important. Let me talk about seamless trade and mobility in our region. The ratification and the implementation of the Tripartite Free Trade Area in July 2024 marked a pivotal achievement towards the establishment of a unified continental market, improved customs and trade facilitation. The European Union allocated somewhere in the region of 20 million euros to enhance border post facilities, to streamline import-export processes and upgrade customs systems for greater efficiency within our COMESA region. I shall continue outlining the achievements. Expansion of the Yellow Card Insurance Scheme, which all of you are aware of. The Yellow Card Scheme, providing cross-border motor insurance, generated $17.2 million in premiums in 2023 and expanded beyond the region. I think this is a very important point that we started this scheme. It's now grown beyond the COMESA member countries. That was our intention, and we are slowly inching in on achieving our intention in this regard. Support for small-scale traders and digital trade initiatives. In particular, support for small-scale cross-border traders, our citizens in our COMESA member states. The World Bank's US $250 million funded project empowered small-scale and women traders in the Great Lakes region, with Burundi among the key beneficiaries. This is making steady progress. Advancing digital trade. We secured $2.5 million to drive the digital trade agenda, enhancing regional trade capacities within ourselves. COMESA's 50 million African women speak. That's the theme. 50 million African women speak. The platform which provided women entrepreneurs with access to digital resources, promoting social integration and economic development. Very important initiative. Women take care of our homes most of the times. They raise our children most of the times. They are very important members of our COMESA region. Energy access and infrastructure development. Accelerating energy access is a very, very important obligation in our COMESA region. Through the World Bank's Ascent program, US $15 billion has been mobilized to expand electricity access to over 100 million people in Eastern and Southern Africa over the next 7 years. This is extremely important, Your Excellencies, that energy, electricity provision is accelerated. There is a very close correlation between access to electricity by our people, our businesses, and the pace at which we develop. The studies have shown that. So it's very important that we push this project as fast as possible so that our people, our population can access electricity, can be interconnected, can access clean drinking water, indeed can irrigate in our agriculture sector. Our theme is talking about partially agriculture. It's very important that we irrigate given the challenges of climate change, which we're experiencing in today's world. So this is a very, very important project. So significant progress has been made on the Zambia-Tanzania-Kenya power interconnector. We are all aware that In Southern Africa, we have a relative interconnection, what we call the Southern African Power Pool. But it's important to connect the Southern African Power Pool to the East African Power Pool. And therefore, the Zambia, Tanzania, Kenya interconnector is a very, very important project in this regard. Tanzanian site is under construction. Congratulations to Kenya, who have completed their part of that interconnector. And Zambia is working very hard, lagging behind for heritage or, if you like, legacy issues, but we're working very hard to accelerate that part of the project between Zambia and Tanzania, and then Tanzania and Kenya. So once more, congratulations to Kenya for progressing that part of the project. It is important that I talked about climate change, Your Excellencies, that the interconnectors are concluded or completed. As you can see, last year, the Southern African region had the worst drought in living memory. And for us as a country, Zambia, who depended largely on hydropower, our power generating capacity was hugely impaired. And we've learned the lessons that we may be sufficient in one form of energy. We do need to diversify because the risks remain high because of climate change. But in another year, Southern Africa will have more rain, will have more water, and East Africa may have less rain, less water, and they will need power from the southern part, as southern part may need power from East and indeed Central Africa. It's a very, very important issue that certain projects like these are given priority within ourselves, within what we do. Energy drives our economies. Energy sustains ordinary day lives for our people. Agriculture and food security. And here, I want to emphasize the issue around strengthening agriculture systems. The COMESA EAC Horticulture Accelerator Program secured $5 billion to double the horticulture sector's value from $4 billion to $8 billion within a 5-year period. This indeed is a very important target, and it does mean a lot to food security in our countries, in our region, on the African continent, and also to contribute to the global food basket. Very important. Addressing food security challenges is very, very key. We must continue transforming agri-food systems to become more resilient. Colleagues, I talked about climate change already, to be inclusive and to be sustainable, so we can facilitate, we can promote the continuation of production systems, and more importantly, producing efficiently. One particular issue that stands out, one or two issues that stand out here, is the issues that we must focus on aspects of productivity. Most of our countries, in most of our countries, I repeat, our farmers produce food or industrial agricultural products at very low levels of productivity. We need to invest in research and development. We need to invest in technology and, of course, to learn from others, other regions, so we can import where necessary the technology and the research results that will enable us to help our farmers increase their productivity, to help our farmers and ourselves, in essence, to be more efficient and to be able to value add the raw products, to be able to trade in these products from surplus areas into deficit areas. Extremely important. Regional peace and stability, and I want to focus on progress in regional stability. My colleague, our host, has already spoken about this, touched on it. Stability is crucial. Peace, security, stability is crucial for our economic development agenda, for our COMESA agenda. Extremely important. We've seen the damage that instability does to our normal lives, to business, to our economies, and to opportunities for our young population in terms of jobs or indeed business opportunities. Peace, once lost, is difficult to recover. So COMESA must continue, we must continue paying attention to the situations afflicting us in our individual countries and within the group. I must say, peaceful elections were held in the Democratic Republic of Congo, in the Union of the Comoros, in Egypt, in Madagascar, in Rwanda, and indeed Zimbabwe. We extend our congratulations to these countries for their democratic and remarkable achievement by hosting or holding elections and ensuring smooth transition from one leadership or management to another. Economic challenges and prospects, particularly the impact of global financial conditions. Due to global financial tightening and rising debt servicing costs, obligations, regional GDP growth slightly declined from 5.9% in 2022 to 5.7% in 2023. So we encourage ourselves to remain or to continue working towards improving our economic resilience capabilities so that we minimize the decline in growth and drive more higher growth rates. And the benefits are known and they are obvious. Construction of the COMESA Secretariat headquarters, some progress made. We've been able to mobilize in the past year $2 million from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to support the construction of the new COMESA headquarters. Funds mobilization efforts will continue going forward because we need to get this project underway in a serious way. Priorities for the coming year. I'm being naughty here, knowing that I'm handing over and there's a new chair coming through, there's a new bureau coming through. But I think my mischief may be of some little value going forward to my dear brother, President Ndayishimiye. Accelerating economic integration, as I said earlier on, must be one of, and should continue to be one of our priorities. We need to prioritize deepening economic integration to improve intra-COMESA trade, an issue I've already raised in a few minutes earlier. This currently is standing at about 11 to 12% only. We all know in this hall that Africa trades the least with itself. This is not acceptable. And Africa is about us, these blocks, such as COMESA, other regional blocks. So we need to make extra efforts to increase trade, and I dare say, investment amongst ourselves. It's a very important aspect. We need to do better in this area. Regional integration development. We need and we will continue, we should continue promoting the corridor approach to address regional infrastructure gaps, which I think is the most pragmatic way to do. One project, one infrastructure project normally does extend to 2 or more countries. And I think the concept of promoting corridors is a clever one. It's actually an effective one. We must continue combating non-trade barriers, non-tariff, I must say, non-tariff barriers, NTBs. We need to strengthen our political will, Your Excellencies, to address the emerging issues around non-tariff barriers. This is hampering our efforts to deepen regional integration. It's actually a negative development, which we must watch very closely going forward and deal with decisively whenever these issues arise. Using trade to address insecurity is another matter that I would like to emphasize as I exit from the chair. We need to leverage cross-border trade. We need to alleviate poverty. We need to increase food production to ensure food security, not just in individual countries, but it's our collective responsibility to assist each other as a region in ensuring or assuring food security. In itself is one of the insurance policies for ameliorating some conflicts that emanate from economic challenges, especially food insecurity. I did mention about investing together. I want to repeat this at some point. But I must say, going forward, promoting public-private partnerships is something we must put a premium on. We as a country, once we took office 3 years ago, we inherited a treasury which was impaired, and we had a debt mountain. We had to deal with the debt restructuring, and I must say that we've achieved a high measure of success in restructuring our debt, giving us a headroom to invest in many aspects of our people's needs. But one instrument that we're using and using effectively is the public-private partnerships, where we do not rely on the national balance sheet to do big infrastructure projects. I would like COMESA going forward to basically pay attention to this model of infrastructure development to mitigate the constrained treasury envelopes that we all are faced with, given the global financial situation which I mentioned earlier. So I want to ask ourselves to really examine closely this model. So if it's accepted, then COMESA can really make it integral to what we do on an ongoing basis. It also brings the private sector money on board, which ordinarily may be difficult to be attracted in one or more of our countries. And when we work on the corridor concept, this will even be much easier and quicker to complete projects. So I would like to suggest that, as I said earlier, Your Excellencies, that we must begin to say something to ourselves. Why are we not investing in and with each other more? What is the issue? Whenever we think of foreign direct investments, we don't consider our neighbors. We think it's Europe, it's Asia, it's America. I think we need a rethink around this issue. It is only normal and ordinary to look at the neighbor first before you go far. Let us invest in and with each other. Let us invest in and with each other. We all have resources that are endowed in our countries, but we're not exploiting them fast enough at a scale that will accelerate economic development in our countries and in our region. And the benefits of such is obvious, doesn't need illustration. So I make a call going forward that we need to set up some instruments, some arrangements that will deepen our investment and trading with each other as something that going forward will become routine. It will become the norm rather than the exception. At this point, I really would like to say, if you will allow me, Your Excellencies, that there are things that we must consider as first steps. This is one of them, going forward. I think we've been missing this one for too long. We need to support each other, and I want to express to countries that have given support to countries like ours in the time of the West drought in living memory. And it's important that we in our country reciprocate that when countries in COMESA are in need, whatever that need is, and we're capable of providing support. I think the spirit that we should grow within our COMESA region. In closing, I want to thank you, the COMESA member states. I want to thank the Bureau. I want to thank the Secretariat, COMESA Secretariat, and various COMESA institutions for your support during our time in the chair of COMESA. The things that we've been able to do, we were able to do them as a team. So most appreciated on behalf of my country, our country, Zambia. I want to extend our warm congratulations to the new chair, COMESA chair, incoming chair, President Ndayishimiye. Thank you, congratulate you for ascending to this very important role in our region. It is also important that I thank Kenyan President Ruto, who is incoming chair, for accepting to perform this function. These are not easy things, given that we have responsibilities in our individual countries. So, congratulations to the new team, to the new Bureau. President Ndayishimiye, you have our full support as you carry on the agenda of COMESA. So it goes to the new Bureau, to the Secretariat. We will offer our best support. For me as servant of the people of Zambia, but all our government and all our institutions will continue availing themselves to help push the COMESA agenda forward. Many thanks to you, my colleagues, and those in attendance for your attention. God bless COMESA. God bless Africa. Thank you.